Hi guys, I'm going to give you a tour today of the CMS system using Comatose and how you can use it to go ahead and create static web pages that go up on the site. So what I'm going to do is I've got these test pages that David sent me, and I'm going to go ahead and use this test page as the basis for creating a page through Comatose, much the same way I did with the first Radiant demo. Okay, so here's the page and you can see it. It's mostly just static HTML. Should look familiar. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull it down into a text editor so we can take a look at the code. There's the page. And if I'm looking down at the page, I'm going to scroll down and we're going to find the part of the page that is going to repeat for each vineyard. So this page shows a bunch of vineyards. I'm looking for the part that's going to repeat, and I'm going to look to separate. I'm going to create a layout based on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything that's inside this test write div and I'm going to make that the repeating element. Everything that's outside of that is going to become a layout. So let's go ahead and go over to the Comatose admin, which is comatose_admin. And here in Comatose, I've got a directory tree, and there's a home page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a child page to the home page. We'll go ahead and call that Vineyards. Then I'm going to go ahead and add two more child pages to that vineyard page I just created. So I'm going to add one more child page. And this will be for our first vineyard, which I'll just call Napa Valley Winery. Let's go ahead and do one more. We'll call this one Sonoma Cellars. Okay, so now I've got those empty pages created. I'm gonna now want to go in and create a layout for all of the vineyards. And then after I create the layout, I'm gonna modify the code for each individual page. So again, I'm gonna go back to the text editor, and now I'm in the text of this Blue Steel Rails application. So what you're looking at here is actually the Blue Steel Rails. Well, this is still the here we go. This is my Rails application for Blue Steel down in my text editor, which is TextMate. And I'm gonna go through the directory tree, and I'm looking for a specific directory called App, Views, and Layouts. And I'm gonna create a new file for this layout. And I'm gonna name the file vineyards.html.erb. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste all that code that we looked at earlier, the HTML. I'm just going to straight copy and paste all that into the layout. I just lost, there we go. Okay, and so now I'm opening up my layouts. There's the file I created. It's empty, and here we go. I just pasted the HTML in there. So now I've got this layout, but I don't want all of this code to be repeating. Particularly, I want this particular vineyard subsection not to be in there. So I'm going to pull that out. Now, how do I tell Rails to go ahead and render each individual layout there? I'm going to use this dynamic tag called yield, and that's it. It's bracket %sign equals, and the word is yield, and that tells Rails, okay, go ahead and render the individual page right here. And you see I've got that wrapped between the test write divs, and I kind of just cut all the code out, and it's sitting in the clipboard right now, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that in the Comatose in a minute. Now we need to go to another file called routes. This is an important file that tells Rails how to take the URL and render out the correct page. And I'm going to add a line here called Comatose root / vineyards index vineyards / and this particular line, I'll be making a note about it in the show notes so you can see how to create something like that yourself. This is in the routes.rb file config folder in a Rails directory. So that's vineyards index, and then there's this thing here called layout vineyards. Add that as well. Again, I'll make a pretty good note about this. This is the only tricky part. So once that's done, I can go back into the Comatose admin, and now I'm going to go ahead and paste just that little section that I cut out, which is going to be the repeating element for all of our pages. And now I'm going to go ahead and edit for our particular change with this guy, which is going to be Napa Valley Winery. I'm just going to change the title, but you could go ahead and change everything in here. There's Napa Valley Winery, and then I'm going to go do the same thing for Sonoma Cellars. Okay, great. So we've got our pages created. We have a layout. We have child pages. We're ready to go ahead and just go take a look at it. There's a button to the upper right here called Clear Page Cache. Go ahead and press that every now and then, and it just clears out the cache so we can get all of our pages updated. And then I'm going to go ahead, and the URL that we created is vineyards / Napa Valley Winery. And if you hover over the names in the Comatose admin, you'll see this little path thing pop up and tell you exactly what the path is. So vineyards, Napa Valley Winery. And boom, here we go. And there's the rendering of the HTML page. Now, as you can see, it looks like shit. And the reason is because we don't have a style sheet being applied to this. So there's one more thing that we need to do, and it's to add the assets to the public folder. Now, I'll show you how to do this with the style sheet, but you can also do this with images, and you can do this with JavaScripts. And in a Rails project, what we do is all of the assets are kept in a special directory called public, and in public you'll find subdirectories for images, JavaScripts, and style sheets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the cw.css file that was included with Dave's test folders, and I'm going to put that in the style sheets. And let's get away from the robots file. So in this subdirectory style sheets, I'm just going to grab the cw.css and then put it in the style sheets right there. So now that's available for us to use. And I also have to change the link to the style sheet, which of course is in the layout that I created back at vineyards.html.erb in app views layouts. And there it is. There's the link. Now I need to change the link to style sheets / style sheets cw.css, and then there the CSS is attached. Now go back and do a refresh. Boom, the style's now applied, and you can do the exact same thing with the images and the JavaScripts. So that's pretty much it. I'll attach notes for all this